What direction do you see Christian music taking today, and where do you see yourselves fitting in?
Several years ago, Daryl Mansfield made a statement. Crossover music is great as long as you take the cross over. Even there was a time in my life when I didn't necessarily agree with that, but the older I've grown in the Lord, the more I understand that the purpose of Christ being in us is that we can become a light to the world. While Jesus was on the earth, he said, "I am the light." But when he saw that his time on earth was coming to an end, he turned to those close to him and he said, "Now you are the light of the world. You're the city set on the hill." We believe the Christ in us is the light. And when God has blessed us with great gifts and great talents, to use the platform, whatever platform, and we've also grown up to understand something Reba said earlier in the interview, is we don't open everybody else's mail. If God tells one person to do the job this way, then you know what? They're going to have to answer for the way they do it. We know in our hearts, we have great concern that Christian music many times cannot be, you can't tell the difference between it and top 40 radio. So what is the purpose of the light in us if it's not being seen? I believe when Jesus told the parable of the sower, that he said, at the end of that parable, he said, you don't take a light and hide it. I believe when his light's in us, I don't think there's any way you can hide it. And I think it's going to come out some way in some part of our music, especially in our lives and our performances.
A great lady that's a writer, her name is Madeline L'Engle. She wrote a book called Walking on Water. And she talked about what is Christian art, what is art. And she said her husband, who is an actor, he always would judge the plays he would be in or whatever he would perform in by what would the children think? Would I be ashamed to allow my children to see this or to hear this? What would the children think? And so much of what we do, everything we do, has eternal value or worth or consequences. And I keep thinking every song we sing, my grandchildren, what are they going to think when they listen back to it? And that's not to judge or condemn. Everything I do, I want it to mean something. If the life of God's in me, I can sing a fun song, have a great time with it. But we can't judge or just even look at an artist's life based on one song or one thing to do. We have to look at the sum of all the parts. Sometimes an artist will just do a fun thing. Like on our new album, there's a song called Can't Get Enough of Your Love. And that's fun and it's great, but I wouldn't want you to judge our whole ministry on one song. You look at the sum of all the parts. We have to look at the spirit of the person that's singing. Are they giving glory unto God with the dance, with the song, with whatever they're doing? So that's what we have to look at, their lifestyle, their life, the spirit it's sung in. I don't have any problem with any type of music as long as the words are scripturally accurate. Some songs that sound real spiritual are just a soulish realm. They get, oh, I feel this and I feel sad and I feel like God's not here. And we think that's religious. Well, it is religious, but it's not spiritual. So if it doesn't contradict the word, if God receives glory through it, if the heart of the person doing it is right, then I have no problem with it. But let's don't just look at one song. If some heathen sings a Christian song, a lot of us try to make them Christians. No, they may just be a heathen that likes a Christian song. Or if some Christian sings a song that doesn't give the four spiritual laws, some of us say, oh, they've compromised. Let's don't do that. Let's look at their whole life. Let's look at the spirit of it. We believe that the mark of the mature bride, of the mature church, is discernment. Let's have a little discernment, and let's speak the truth in love, and let's look at each other with eyes of love and encourage one another and pray for one another. If you got a problem with somebody, don't run out and tell somebody else, pray for them.